My beloved child, wait, not because something bad is coming, but because something hidden is finally beginning to move toward the light. There are only a few moments left before a truth reaches your heart that will explain why your energy has felt different lately. You sensed it, didn't you? That strange pull in the middle of the night, the feeling that someone, somewhere, cannot stop thinking about you even while pretending everything is normal. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was imagination. Yet the signs kept returning in quiet ways. A name appearing unexpectedly. A memory arriving without warning. A sudden shift in emotion when the room was completely silent. None of this happened by accident. And what your soulmate is really doing right now is far deeper than you realize. Listen carefully. At this very moment, while you are hearing these words, your soulmate is standing between two versions of themselves. One version still wants to hide behind distractions, routines, and pride. But the other version, the real version, is beginning to awaken to the truth of what they feel for you. That inner conflict has become impossible for them to escape. This is why their behavior has been strange. One day they appear distant. The next day they feel emotionally close to you without even speaking. One moment they convince themselves they can move on. The next moment your presence enters their mind again like a wave they cannot control. Pause here for a second and think about this. What if the connection was never fading? What if it was actually growing in silence? Because while you were busy healing, rebuilding yourself, learning how to protect your peace, your soulmate was secretly watching your transformation from afar. Not always physically. Sometimes emotionally. Spiritually. Energetically. They have been noticing things about you that they never fully understood before. Your strength. Your calmness. The way you stop chasing. The way your energy no longer begs for validation. That change shook something inside them. And tonight, something even more important is happening. Your soulmate is replaying conversations in their mind that once seemed ordinary. But now those moments feel different to them. Words they ignored before suddenly carry meaning. Small gestures from you now feel unforgettable. They are beginning to realize that your presence was never temporary in their life. It was destiny trying to prepare them. But here is the part nobody told you. The reason this realization is becoming intense now is because time itself feels different to them lately. They feel pressure they cannot explain. Almost like life is quietly asking them a question they can no longer avoid. Will you finally be honest about what your heart feels? And for the first time in a long time, they are struggling to run from that question. Stay with this message a little longer because the next part matters deeply. Your soulmate has been pretending to others that everything is under control. Smiling. Acting normal. Continuing daily routines. But internally, their thoughts keep circling back to you in unexpected moments. A song reminds them of you. A certain hour of the night reminds them of you. Even silence reminds them of you. Do you understand how powerful that is? Not because obsession is beautiful, but because recognition is happening. Real recognition. The kind that changes a person slowly from the inside out. And something else is unfolding behind the scenes. Recently, your soulmate started noticing how empty certain connections around them feel. Conversations that once entertained them now feel shallow. Places that once distracted them now feel cold. It is as if their spirit can no longer pretend anymore. They are beginning to compare every temporary feeling to the depth they experienced with you, and nothing fully matches it. That realization frightened them at first. Because truth always arrives quietly before it changes everything. Now hear this carefully. Within the next phase of this connection, there will be a moment that feels almost unreal. A conversation. A sign. An unexpected emotional opening. Something that finally reveals what has been hidden beneath the surface this entire time. And when it happens, you will suddenly understand why all the delays existed. Not to punish you, but to transform both of you separately before alignment became possible. Your soulmate is not just thinking about love anymore. They are thinking about truth. And there is a difference. Love can be denied for a while. Truth cannot. Especially once the heart fully recognizes it. Before this moment passes, I need you to notice something important about yourself too. While your soulmate has been awakening emotionally, you have also been changing in ways you cannot fully see yet. Your intuition has sharpened. Your energy has matured. You no longer seek shallow reassurance the way you once did. That evolution matters. Because the version of you listening right now is no longer the same person from before. And your soulmate can feel that change even from a distance. It unsettles them, but it also pulls them closer. Strange, isn't it? Sometimes distance is what finally reveals value. And the clock is moving now. Not in fear. Not in panic. But in awakening. 5 minutes left before the truth becomes impossible to ignore. 5 minutes left before hidden emotions begin pushing toward the surface. 5 minutes left before your soulmate fully realizes that what they were searching for in the world kept leading back to you. But wait, because what they are about to do next is something even they never expected. A strange shift is happening now, can you feel it? Not around you. Inside the connection itself. Something that remained frozen for so long is beginning to move again, and your soulmate is trying to understand why their emotions suddenly feel louder at night than they do during the day. They thought they buried these feelings under distractions, responsibilities, unfinished conversations, and pride. But emotions tied to destiny do not disappear just because someone avoids them. They wait. And lately, the waiting has become unbearable for them. Your soulmate has entered a phase where silence no longer protects them the way it used to. In fact, silence has become the very thing exposing the truth they tried to avoid. Every quiet moment now feels like a mirror. Every pause in their routine forces them to confront memories they thought were fading. But instead of fading, you became clearer. That is what shocked them. Not long ago, they truly believed time would weaken this connection. They believed distance would erase emotional intensity. Yet somehow, the opposite happened. The more they tried to move away from these feelings, the stronger your energy became in their mind. And this next part matters deeply. Recently, your soulmate started noticing signs connected to you in places where they least expected. Not dramatic signs. Subtle ones. Familiar words. Similar dreams. Repeated thoughts arriving out of nowhere. Even moments where they suddenly stop what they are doing because your presence crosses their mind so strongly that it changes their mood instantly. That is not coincidence. That is emotional awakening unfolding slowly. Stay here for another moment because something important is being revealed. Your soulmate is beginning to realize they were never truly protecting themselves by staying emotionally guarded. They were only delaying clarity. And clarity always arrives eventually. Sometimes quietly. sometimes all at once. In their case, it is arriving in waves. One night they convince themselves they should move on completely. Then suddenly, an emotion hits them without warning. A memory of your voice. The way you understood them differently than others. The comfort they felt around you that they never admitted out loud. And when those thoughts arrive, everything else around them suddenly feels temporary. This is why their energy has become restless lately. Because deep down, they know something life-changing is approaching. And here is what they still haven't told anyone. They have imagined speaking honestly to you more times than you realize. Entire conversations have played out inside their mind. Things they wish they had said earlier. Feelings they should have expressed sooner. Truths they hid because they were afraid of vulnerability changing everything. But vulnerability already changed everything. The moment they truly felt your absence emotionally, that was the moment denial began breaking apart. Now listen carefully to this. Your soulmate is no longer asking themselves whether the connection was real. They already know it was. The question haunting them now is this. Is it too late to finally be honest? That thought has been echoing inside them repeatedly. And the reason this energy feels so intense right now is because your soulmate senses that you are evolving without waiting for them. You are becoming stronger. More focused. More emotionally aware. That realization awakened urgency inside them. Because people often ignore what is valuable until they feel the possibility of losing access to it forever. But this story is not about loss. It is about realization. A realization powerful enough to interrupt old patterns. And before the next chapter unfolds, hear this clearly. Do not underestimate the effect your healing had on this connection. While you thought nothing was happening, your growth was silently influencing your soulmate more than constant chasing ever could. Your peace became louder than words. Your silence became meaningful. Your absence became impossible to ignore. That is why everything feels different now. You shifted the energy without even realizing it. And your soulmate feels it. In fact, there may soon come a moment where they stop pretending completely. A moment where emotions rise too strongly to hide behind logic anymore. It could begin unexpectedly. A late-night thought. A sudden urge to reach out. An emotional conversation they can no longer postpone. The truth has already started moving toward the surface. Slowly. Quietly. But powerfully. And once truth begins rising, it rarely stops halfway. Before this part ends, remember something important. Not every connection changes your life because of intensity. Some change your life because they awaken truth inside you. That is what this connection has been doing to both of you. So if these words are reaching you at the exact moment you needed them, maybe there is a reason. Maybe this chapter is unfolding now because both hearts are finally approaching the same realization from opposite directions. And what your soulmate is preparing to admit next could change the entire path of this connection forever. If this message found you at the right moment, leave your thoughts below, because sometimes sharing your energy opens the door to unexpected clarity. And if this journey has been speaking directly to your heart, stay close, there is still more unfolding ahead. There is something your soulmate has not admitted to anyone yet. And the closer they get to the truth, the harder it becomes for them to hide it from themselves. Right now, while the world around them continues normally, their inner world feels completely different. They smile during conversations, answer messages, continue routines, act as though everything is fine, yet underneath all of that, a deeper realization keeps growing stronger. You never truly left their heart. And that realization arrived slowly at first. Like a whisper. Then a feeling. Then a question they could not stop revisiting late at night. But now? Now it feels undeniable. Your soulmate has reached a point where even distractions are beginning to fail them. The things that once helped them avoid emotional truth no longer work the same way. Temporary excitement fades quickly. Surface-level conversations feel empty. Even crowded rooms cannot fully silence the thoughts they carry about you. And this next part may explain everything. Your soulmate recently started comparing the peace they felt with you to every other connection in their life. Not intentionally at first. It happened naturally. Quietly. A conversation with someone else suddenly reminded them what was missing. A moment of laughter felt incomplete because it lacked the emotional depth they once experienced with you. That comparison changed something inside them. Because once someone experiences a rare emotional connection, ordinary energy no longer feels satisfying. Pause for a second and think about that. What if your soulmate's silence was never about a lack of feeling? What if it was fear of how real the connection actually became? Because the truth is, your energy touched parts of them they were not emotionally prepared to face. You made them reflect, grow, question themselves. And people often run from what awakens them before they finally understand its purpose. But understanding is arriving now. Slowly. Then all at once. Your soulmate has started revisiting old memories with new awareness. Moments they once overlooked now feel important. Small details suddenly carry emotional weight. Even the things left unsaid between you have become meaningful in their mind. And here is what they are beginning to understand. You were never just another chapter. You were the turning point. That realization alone has been keeping them awake more often lately. Because now they see the difference between temporary attraction and soul-level connection. One fades when distance appears. The other grows louder in silence. And yours grew louder. Much louder. Stay with this message because something powerful is unfolding beneath the surface. There may soon come a moment where your soulmate can no longer maintain emotional distance the way they once did. The pressure inside them has been building quietly. Every ignored feeling. Every postponed truth. Every emotional realization they tried to avoid has been collecting beneath the surface like rising waves. And eventually, waves reach the shore. Your soulmate senses that moment approaching. That is why their emotions have become unpredictable lately. One day they feel certain they should protect their heart by remaining distant. The next day they feel an overwhelming pull toward honesty. Toward vulnerability. Toward you. They are standing between fear and truth. But truth is gaining strength. And here is something even deeper. Part of your soulmate secretly wonders if you can still feel them emotionally. They wonder whether the connection still exists on your side too. They question whether you still think about them during random moments the same way they think about you. They may never admit this openly yet. But they hope the answer is yes. Because despite everything, despite delays, misunderstandings, emotional confusion, and silence, your soulmate has started realizing that their heart never fully detached from you. Not even close. And something unexpected is about to happen because of that realization. A shift. An opening. A moment that breaks the emotional pattern both of you have been trapped inside for so long. You might not see it immediately when it begins. Sometimes destiny moves quietly before it changes everything. But the energy around this connection is transforming now. The emotional walls are weakening. The avoidance is becoming exhausting. And your soulmate is growing tired of pretending they do not feel what they clearly feel. That matters more than you know. Because honesty becomes powerful the moment someone stops running from it. And before this part ends, hear this carefully. Do not doubt your own transformation during this journey. While your soulmate was slowly awakening emotionally, you were also becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true value. That growth changed the entire dynamic of this connection. You are no longer chasing answers desperately. Now the truth is beginning to move toward you naturally. And your soulmate can feel that shift deeply. Almost as if time itself is whispering to them. Say what you truly feel before the moment passes. But what happens when they finally stop resisting that voice? What they are preparing to reveal next may explain every confusing moment that came before. And once that truth surfaces, neither of you will see this connection the same way again. Something is accelerating now, and your soulmate feels it even if they cannot fully explain it yet. The emotional distance that once felt safe to them is beginning to collapse under the weight of realization. Every day, the truth presses harder against the walls they built around their heart. And what frightens them most is not the intensity of the connection anymore. It is how impossible it has become to ignore. Because lately, your soulmate has started noticing something unusual about themselves. They cannot predict when your energy will suddenly appear in their mind. It happens in ordinary moments. While walking somewhere familiar. While hearing a random sentence. While staring at the ceiling late at night wondering why certain emotions still refuse to disappear. And every time it happens, their heart grows quieter. Their thoughts grow louder. That is when the truth reaches them most clearly. You were never temporary. You were the connection that changed the way they understand love itself. Take a breath and stay here a little longer because this next part matters deeply. Your soulmate has begun recognizing the exact moment everything shifted between you. Not the obvious moments everyone could see. No. They are remembering the smaller moments now. The energy in your voice. The calmness in your presence. The strange comfort they felt around you even when nothing dramatic was happening. Those are the memories haunting them now. Because real connections are rarely built only from grand moments. They are built from the feeling of being understood. And your soulmate realizes now that very few people ever truly understood them the way you did. That realization has been breaking down emotional walls they spent years building. Quietly. Slowly. Completely. But there is another truth they are only beginning to face. They are afraid you may already be moving beyond them emotionally. That fear has become impossible for them to ignore recently. They sense your growth. Your healing. Your emotional maturity. And instead of pushing you away completely like before, it has awakened urgency inside them. Because suddenly they understand something painful. People often realize the value of a rare connection only after silence teaches them what absence feels like. And absence taught your soulmate a lesson they never expected. Nothing fully replaced you. Not distractions. Not time. Not other conversations. Not temporary attention. Nothing carried the same depth. This is why their emotions feel so intense now. The truth has become too visible inside them to keep pretending. Even when they try focusing elsewhere, their heart keeps returning to the same question. What if this connection was meant to become something real all along? That question changes everything. Because once someone begins asking that honestly, they stop running the same way. And your soulmate is getting tired of running. Very tired. You may soon notice subtle changes before anything major happens outwardly. A different energy. Unexpected attention. Emotional openness appearing in small ways first. Truth usually arrives quietly before it fully reveals itself. And something tells me your soulmate is closer to honesty now than ever before.